What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So earlier in the week, Lakers had their preseason opener against Denver, and of course they had to lose it by 2, but a lot of stuff, really good stuff to look forward to, especially with LeBron. I believe he had like 13, 3 and 3, so he could have averaged, and that was only 15 minutes, so he could average like over 30 points and almost a triple-double, which would be pretty crazy over like even just 30-35 minutes. So that's awesome to see. But they did get the W tonight against the Sacramento Kings. Took almost the full entire game, which is kind of surprising, but obviously a lot of the starters for the Lakers didn't play the whole entire game. But Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma were out there late in the game, and Ingram hit a lot of tough shots and made clutch free throws. Pretty cool. Had like 31 points, pretty crazy for the ex-Duke player. And also they played against Marvin Bagley, the number 2 overall pick out of Duke, and he had a double-double as well. So definitely looks like he can at least play in this league, but after watching some LeBron highlights, he did get beat by LeBron a lot of times, and that's pretty obvious, but I mean, he should at least keep up with him a bit. He is more than 10 years younger than him. And then the other day, the Ducks did get a win in their season opener as well. It's pretty crazy, 5-2 over the San Jose Sharks, who made a trade for Carlson, I believe, who was like their main savior for the Sharks, and he was supposed to be really good, but they spoiled their home opener, which is always good to see. A lot of young players playing, but we'll see how this goes. Hopefully it's momentum, but it is just the first game of the season. So the injury bug is hitting a few of my guys lately. Right now, Jahlil Okafor for the Pelicans, ex-Duke player, he's gonna be out 1 to 2 weeks, even though he had a pretty nice play and good play in his first preseason game, but hopefully he is back and able to play on that bum ankle. Then also Javin DeLaurier, he's gonna be out for, I believe they said 10 days for a lower body injury. The Duke player that's there right now, the junior, hopefully we get him back before preseason starts. And then also we had the USC cornerback, the freshman Isaac Taylor Stewart. He hasn't been getting much playing time, but he is still in game. So they said he has a pretty significant ankle injury, and they don't know. They can't redshirt him as far as him only playing 4 games, because I believe he's played in all 5 games this year. But they might be able to get a medical redshirt, because usually even before all the new rules, that was at least if he didn't play in 6 games. So more than half of the season. So he's right about that area, and depending how much time he's going to end up missing, they could still do it later in the season. I just hope they just don't waste a season on him, because they should be able to keep him for another extra year if they medical redshirt him. So, and then the Chargers as well, another guy with a lower body injury, Travis Benjamin, the wide receiver. They thought he was going to come back last week, and then I guess he re-aggravated that injury. And it's just, of course, like now I'm just looking at all these free agents that are available that the Chargers aren't looking at, but they just want to stick with these guys that they have. And of course, you already know how I feel about Benjamin, where he dropped so many passes in the first game and really hasn't done anything since, especially since that injury. But if you were to make a move, obviously there's the enigma that is Dez Bryant out there still somehow. A guy with that much talent at the wide receiver position is still available, which is pretty crazy. Also, a guy like Jeremy Maclin, who only got cut because I guess he was nursing an injury, but from what I read, he is 100% healthy right now, so kind of surprised why nobody's picked him up, especially after watching the Colts tonight. They really need offensive weapons, and yet none of those guys are signed to there. It doesn't seem like that team is making any moves right now. And then Travis Rudolph is a guy I always liked in college out of Florida State. A really good player when Jameis Winston was there, so it's another guy they could look at cheaper as well, and I know he has sure hands unlike somebody. the Chargers, excuse me, decided to let go Drew Kaiser, the punter, and bring in Donnie Jones, who was in retirement, but decided to come back after winning the championship last year with Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm assuming they think he can help out Sturgis because they were together in Philadelphia. But apparently they're going to try everything. I guess in order to get Donnie Jones, they had to bring in Jamar McGluster and add him to the practice squad after they let go of Kaiser as well. So another guy was added. I believe he's an offensive tackle, pretty big guy, but I doubt he's going to get any playing time. But apparently they just think that since Kaiser has been there, they drafted him about 2016. And then I believe since then there's been about 4 or 5 kickers that the Chargers have had and tried throughout these years, and there's been so many problems since then. And it just sucks because now it's not the kickers when I really think it's the kicker's fault, because you can't blame it on the punter who usually does the catching of the ball and holding it for the kicker during kickoffs and field goals, because these are like 4 to 5 different guys over the past 2 years, and you're doing it to a guy in his first and second year. And the guy was a great punter. Kaiser is a great punter, but of course they're not going to get anything for him when they should have probably traded him or packaged him in something to get something for him. He could have gotten a 6-7 round pick for him because of how good he is, but of course the Chargers don't pay attention, they don't listen, and they don't do their homework and stuff. But apparently now they're gonna go with this whole kicking thing and see if that's gonna be to solve their mystery, but we'll see. And also I did add a couple of guys that I think the Chargers were supposed to probably look at instead of letting go of the punter, more let go of the kicker. I like, who's still a free agent, Cairo Santos. He was a beast in Kansas City. I don't know why he's not there. And then also a guy like Daniel Carlson, who is a rookie, and he did win the Minnesota Vikings job in the beginning of the year, but I believe in the first game he did miss a field goal or two and some extra points. And then Dan Bailey from the Cowboys became available because he was a free agent, and if I would have known that at the time, that would have solved the Chargers' problems at kicking, because I never liked picking anybody for fantasy football from Dallas unless it was Dan Bailey, because he was money, especially for points and field goals, and now he's doing really well for Minnesota. But I think Daniel Carlson is a pretty good guy, because he was like one of the only kickers actually drafted in this last year's draft. But we'll see how this goes. Hopefully there's not another change. And to finish off this video, we have Corey Liuget, the defensive tackle, defensive lineman for the Chargers, finally returning back from his 4-game suspension with the supposedly PED use, even though he says the trainer put something in him that he didn't know what it was, and there's actually a lawsuit going on. So hopefully that didn't affect his play that much, and he was able to focus on training still and being in shape and able to help us out, because we definitely need some help on that defensive line just to get more pressure on the quarterbacks. Doesn't have to be sacks, could be tip balls, could be tackles for loss, especially with the running back. But anything will help right now, especially until Joey Bosa comes back in a few weeks. And then also they mentioned that EJ Price, if you guys remember, I mentioned him in one of those players that we sadly let go. He went to Kentucky, and that USC video I did of guys that we've lost, and we're really paying for it right now, especially since right now he has one of the top running backs in the nation, Benny Snell. He's taken the college football world by storm, and I'm pretty sure EJ Price has a lot to do with that, being on that offensive line and as a starter, and he's just doing really well. I'm pretty sure within a year or two he's going to be a high top draft pick, especially in the first 2 or 3 rounds. And too bad it wouldn't be a guy from USC getting picked that high, and I'm just glad something good is going for him. I know he was homesick, and I'm just glad he's able to still make a positive out of it and still be really productive, and I'm happy for him. And then the USC women's soccer team won 2-0 against Arizona. That was pretty cool. And then the women's volleyball team tonight, they beat up Oregon State Beavers 3-0. So pretty convincing victory. Hopefully they both can continue throughout the weekend to get more victories. I'm pretty sure they will. I'm pretty sure a lot of other teams will be playing, especially USC has the bye week. Chargers, they get the Oakland Raiders. So that's always interesting, always fun. Always got to be really calm and cool. Can't show any emotions until after the game because it is a rivalry game. Don't want to stand up anybody that's around you that is a fan of the other team, but that's just how I roll. Either in a win or a loss, I'm still even keeled pretty much. But thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. And have a great rest of your day.